Sometimes when I awake, it still feels like yesterday. Even as weeks and months have slipped away, sometimes it still feels like I'm stuck in that day. As day after day, the sun rises and sets, but everything stays the same. When the only change I feel is the walls I've built, growing higher and higher to lock my broken heart away from the world. I used to bear my heart like armor, wield it like a blade until it shattered under the weight of so much hate unfurled. Because the world showed me evil like I had never seen before. Not just lurking across the globe on some far off shore. No, the evil, it came right up to me, knocking on my door. And I spent so long standing in its way, trying to push it back to where it hid before, but I'm not sure how much longer I can do it for. I used to grab my flag and stand in the middle of campus when the protesters came to shout and cause an uproar. I used to stand side by side with friends who swore they would never stop fighting until the end of this war. But I look around now, and the crowds are no more. And I think back on the year, and I wonder, what was it all for? Will our cries echo in silence forevermore? Or hammer our brains like the ravens nevermore? For it seems nothing has changed. The blood, it still flows in streams. Our brothers and sisters locked so far away we can't hear their screams. And every night that passes, I awake to more broken dreams. How can we ever fight this tsunami when each time it pulls back, it's only gathering speed and there's hardly a moment to breathe between the crashing of the sea? If all you have are some buckets and a friend or two or three, there will never be a way to drain this flooding beachside. And still, we try to fight this rising tide, but no matter how high we build our walls, the hatred smashes through our windows, filling our halls. It seems to me there is no end we can guarantee. There will always be people in this world with whom we disagree. Someone will always get caught in the crossfire and the debris. From Amsterdam to Berkeley, there will always be a city from which we will flee. So, how do I keep fighting when everybody around me has lost their way? When it looks to be Sodom and Gomorrah, but in the modern day, but this time, there will be no divine display of wrath and might to push this darkness away. It's up to us to keep working, to pave a new way. We must stand our ground and live to fight another day. Because already we see these strangers sneaking away back into the shadows where they hid before. And it is now that I know at least one thing for sure. We stood all year long because we have something to stand for. We fought all year long because we have something to fight for. And what do they have to show for? Broken promises and empty chants, calls to action that just serve as their distraction, a cause they thought mighty but only for a fraction of a moment. Until the shiny, new, cool, hip tragedy they all stood for got old and boring and tiring. My flag was never a fad. It was my cape, both my armor and my blade, my weapon against hate. My identity was never about the scarf that I wore. It was true to who I am in my soul, in my core. This fight isn't about a country or a government or an army or a people. This fight is for me. It is in my neshama, the innermost part of my being. Now is not the time for fleeing, but maybe if this tsunami isn't receding, we need to be seeing a different approach. If this water continues to encroach and push us into the dark, I think it's time that we build an ark. Take our weapons and our swords and let them find a new mark. Shape this world and our lives into something stark and new. An ark for me and for you. Find our allies, use our strength as the glue to secure us a shelter to ride this wave through. We will never make it if it's every Jew for himself in a solo canoe. But together we can build something no one can undo. Together we can build an ark for our people until we pull through. We have big role models to live up to, and it's long overdue, but we do have the strength, and we do have the might, and we do have the courage to continue to fight. Because we will not go silent into the night. We will not be made to flicker out like a light. This world may not be black and white, but for this life, we do have the right for our home for which we continue to fight. Thank you. Thank you.